Hey, what's up, mi gente? It's Anthony Rosa, the community finance coach, and I'm so excited to be here on another Money Monday. I am your host, Anthony Rosa. I'm also here with my guest speaker, George Moran. George, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? I hope everybody's having a
Awesome.
fantastic day. George Moran here with Home Team Inspection Service. Ready for any inspection needs? You give me a call. I'll be ready. Been in the industry for quite a while now. My father used to own a construction company, so I can say I was born on the trade, basically. I work as a part-timer, and now that I have my own business for, I don't know, about 5 years probably now, 6 years. Anyway, it's been a while. So you can find me at Home Team Inspection Service. Home Team, I'm sorry, jmoran at hometeam.com. You can find me at www.home team inspection service of Mammoth County. Or you can give me a call, 732-704-8918. That's basically the best way to find me, by the way. A good text, a good phone call.
Text or
Always
phone call. I
personal.
love that. I love that. George, thank you so much for coming on. Today on this Money Monday, we're talking about the benefits of a home inspection. And I want to remind everybody, as a finance coach, my goal is always to inspire, connect, and educate. And working with credit profiles, both personal and business, over 9 years now, I feel like I've grown a sixth sense to, what it means to have a healthy credit score. And so thank you for those that have been watching. Thank you for my referral partners. And George, thank you as being a vendor for the Headshots and Handshakes event, February 6th. I'm so excited to have you there as one of our vendors. And so, benefits of a home inspection. George, what are some of the things from your experience that you see from those that are protected from getting a proper home inspection? Because I'm hearing that those that pass inspection, it's like playing Russian roulette. So talk to us, and a goal today in this lunch and learn is to take away some positive remedies. So take it away, George.
Yes, indeed. And I'm looking forward to our event. I need to get a good headshot. So if you're listening, that's the best time. Go get it. All right. So benefits of having a home inspection. Number one, we should understand what is the reason of having a home inspection done. And it has to be professionally. You can't be just anybody. My uncle is a contractor. My friend he works with an electrician. No, that doesn't work. It has to be done properly. So why do you do it? You want to know the status of your home. You cannot just go in blindly, right? From the beginning, from the structural issues all the way to the roof, to the outside, to the crawl spaces, you need to get somebody who's willing to go in there on all the places where you're not gonna be spending time, like the attic, right? The attic with the crawl space that's so dark and nobody wants to step on it, or even the crawl space that's under the house where you have to crawl, hence the name, right underneath to see the structure. Then that's the kind of guy you want. Why do you do that? Because if you choose to go in blindly, later on you might be upset with all the costs that might take you for remediating all the problems, right? You have to identify, for instance, a crack, right? What is a crack? If it is a horizontal crack with a big gap on it, where you see all the bricks moving from different directions, that's going to be very expensive to remediate. So who's going to be taking care of that cost? Is it going to be you? Or is it going to be the seller who's trying to give you that property? See, understanding that difference makes a whole kind or different spends, right? Or you can also use your sense to understand the small remediations. Extending a gutter, putting it an extension, an accordion like, how much will that cost you? $10, $5, right? If you have to replace the whole gutter system, now we're talking good money, right? If you
Wow.
have
Yeah,
to
imagine
replace the
that.
roof, it's a complete different story. So when you do the home inspection, the home inspector is looking out for your best interest. He's trying to find out what's going to be the most expensive item that you're gonna have to address once you move into your house. Um,
So, what are some talk to me about some instances where you were able to save somebody from buying the wrong home?
oh my God, yes. All right, so recently, maybe last month, I went to a house, and this was a brand new couple. They just got married. They were probably, I don't know, 5 months into marriage, and they decided to buy their home. Right? They found a great realtor, yet he wasn't that experienced. So when I get into the house, as soon as I step out of the vehicle,
Hmm.
I looked at the house and it didn't look right to me. There was an issue there. In the
Wow.
back, it looked like he was tilting a little bit.
No.
So yes. So
Were
as
you the first one to catch that, or did anybody else catch
yes,
that?
yes. I'm looking at my client, the lady's looking at me. And as I'm looking at it, I keep
That's funny.
looking up. I'm looking at it, I keep looking up. I'm going like this. And she finally says, what's behind me? I have to explain
You're just kind
myself.
of looking and sizing it up.
Yes, exactly. She
That's
says to
hilarious.
me, what was behind me? So I said, can you look from this end? Does it look a little tilted to you? She goes,
Mm.
no, I don't see it. I said, okay, no problem. We'll do the inspection. We'll look at it. And as we're walking inside the house, I already have that on my mind, right? I gotta see if I'm right or maybe not. Well, anyway, to make the story short, as I was staying at the front door and she was staying at the kitchen, which was the tip at the other side, she was probably a couple inches higher than me,
No
just
way.
from the floor itself. It was, uneven.
You kind of see it already.
Yes, and then
Wow.
I went into the crawl space, and sure enough, the middle post and piers were
Mm.
already tilting. The board, the joist, which is the piece of wood that goes right there supporting the weight,
Okay.
supposed to be flat into the column, right?
Right.
But this one we had an angle about 45 degrees probably. So, through that whole process, they were very happy. They said, "Hey,
Of
listen, thank you,
course.
man. I never noticed that." Um, the
What
husband
would it
happened
be,
to
what
be,
would it have been if someone had to like, mediate that or even
yeah.
it out?
We're not supposed to be called prices because we're home inspectors. We're not general contractors.
No, but
But
just from your experience, not
I can
quoting, but
tell you,
just
man,
what can it
that
cost
was.
the homeowner?
I mean, we're looking at $50,000 just to fix that.
Easy.
Easy, yes.
Wow.
Because now we have to lift the house up. That particular house, right? We have to lift it
You got to
up.
lift it up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. To replace all those. I mean, some of them you can just move one piece, put the other one in. But this
Okay.
one was special. We have to replace that. Then I
And
went to
so,
another one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
we're talking about termites, right? Termites, those little guys. Oh my God, how much damage can they do? We went to a
Wow.
house in Middletown. I remember that one. And I told my client, listen, I don't think we should go into the basement. He goes, why? I said, just look at the wall. I mean, for termites to move probably a distance of about 6 inches, it will take years. This one was going all the way to the attic,
So that was years.
coming from the basement. So just keep that distance, right? A basement was probably 7 feet tall.
Mm.
So I had reached that point and I kept going. So just think about it. That was many years, many, at least 20 years of damage based on that. So that was a
Yeah.
whole colony that had taken over the
And they
house.
wouldn't know unless they got another home inspection. But who would? I mean, if you own the home and you live in the home, you're not thinking anything of it.
You're used to it. Many times you walk into something and you keep passing by, you don't notice it, right?
Mm.
Or let's say the basement, right? It's been leaking for a while. There's water there, but guess what? You had something covering that wall. You just don't think about it, right? You're not gonna remove that every day just to look behind it. As home inspectors, we have to do it. We do it, not remove the pieces, but if it is already open and we can see it as visual, we're gonna call it out. We're gonna let you know.
Right. So, call to action. Is there something you have been overlooking? Any homeowners or investors that are looking into new projects? Do you need a helping hand? George is here to help you. And George, talk to me about your team. How do you manage projects?
Well, basically, I work with my son many times, but besides that, I have another set of home inspectors. when you call in to book an inspection with me, depending on the age of the home, depending on the status of the home at the time of inspection, you may need more services, what we call ancillaries, like a tank sweep or a sewer scope. Are you familiar with those, by the way?
Some of them, yeah.
All right, so tank will
Tank
be
sweep,
basically
getting,
looking for a
yeah.
buried oil tank.
Okay.
Uh, if the house was built anywhere around the 60s, 80s would be overkill, but 70s and before that, the only source of heat were two: either you do charcoal, which burn coal, or gas. Oh, I'm sorry, not gas, oil.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you store your oil? You put it in a tank, and many times they bury it under the ground.
Right.
Now, the problem behind that is that we drop a piece of metal, right? Just to test
Okay.
it, to test the level. Like you will see it everywhere, right? As they drop that, sometimes the tip, metal tip, will crush against the steel, the cast iron. Guess,
Okay.
and that created a little bit or a hole.
Okay.
That hole started sipping oil through right into
Oh,
the soil,
into the soil.
into the soil. Depending on how many years that have been happening, soil could be very contaminated.
Wow.
So I seen it where they spend a good 80,000 to remediate the soil, because now we gotta get permits, we gotta dig that soil, we gotta remove all that until we put a new coat on it with fresh soil. So just think about the expense behind that whole thing.
Right. I mean, look, if you're talking about buying a house or owning a house, it's the most expensive asset that you can have. And just
All
a
right.
pipe or just something like an oil tank underground, it can cause significant
Becomes
damage.
expensive. And talking about pipes, right? Uh, Sewer scope is the other kind of inspection that we recommend. You put a camera through the pipe system all the way to the main line. If there was an area where there were plenty of trees, a wooded area, those roots that are growing underneath, sometimes they push the pipes on their
Hmm.
way. And now a pipe system that's supposed to be a steady flow of water going to the main now has a dip on it, or it
Oh,
has trouble.
wow.
And
Okay.
now there's no more connection. So where is that all that wasted water going to?
Just
You see what I'm saying?
right.
So yeah, that's why you need to have a good idea, a good sense of what's
I mean,
happening when you
people
go in.
aren't thinking of doing a sewer scope. What would cause them to do that?
A sewer scope is, I mean, you got to keep in mind that you're making an investment uh, at least $400,000, right? A
Hmm.
sewer scope will cost you on an average $300. A tank sweep 250, 260, depending on who you do it with. Termite inspection would destroy organisms a good 100, 150, 125.
Right.
Um,
So it's a peace of mind to do these things to just make sure
yes,
everything
indeed.
is
Let's say you're spending $1,500 on a home inspection, and that's a lot already. But let's say you're spending that for the value of the house. That's worth it, But now you
right.
have a peace of mind. Of course, if your house was built way before 1980, we're not doing a sewer scope. What's the need? Now we have good piping in it. That's why it's good to understand the condition of your home at the time of the purchase.
Yeah, that's very important. And you can't just look at it from out exterior and say, "Oh, it looks good," looks intact.
Yeah, I like the paint, right?
Yeah, so
Listen,
talking about paint, is that another? I know that even up to paint, with now certain houses have to get up to code.
lead paint,
Yep.
1957. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, Especially if you are going to rent a house, there's a regulation that you need to follow. Even if you're not renting the house, you're not doing it as a landlord, um, you should, because of the age of the home, you should have it tested, right? Now, that might become an expense that it could increase depending on how many homes, I mean, how many families you have in that particular home.
Okay.
It could be up there. You should keep in mind that may not be needed. Just make sure you understand. Make sure the inspector you get understands the condition of your home. Is what I'm trying to say, because you might be spending more money than you need to. For instance, I know an inspector that charged this couple for doing a termite inspection all the way on the third floor.
Mm-hmm.
That made no sense to me because it was a condominium that was built in the 2000s. For the termites to reach all the way to the third floor, we're talking about 80 years probably.
That's right. Wow.
So, that's the kind of process that needs to be put in mind when you do an inspection.
So when people come to you and they're coming in the early stage before they buy.
Yeah, many times, or they do it when they're ready to set up their home for sale.
Or when they're setting it for sale.
Yes.
Okay, talk to me about that part.
We call a pre-inspection or pre-sale inspection. The idea is if you understand the condition of your home before you put it out for sale, you can remediate things before it becomes more expensive. What do I mean? I had a leak in my condensation line from my AC in the attic going all the way to the outside. When I had that leak, everything was leaking. Guess what? It came on the floor tile in the basement. So that became moldy in a way. Now, mold right away. As soon as you hear mold, you're thinking a lot of expenses, many sickness, and many other things that come with it.
Yeah.
But sometimes the mold is just mold is sometimes it's just in a particular area, right? As long as you address it properly, you don't have an issue. So if I come in and I tell you before you put the house out for sale, hey, you got mold here, we should look into it. You have it tested. And it's different when you test it prior than when you do it after the fact. Right. As a buyer's inspector, I will tell you have the house tested. As a seller, I will let you know, hey, listen, I got some people that can come in and test your area and make sure, the rest of the house is not compromised. Right. And it's a lot less expensive than after the fact. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense on the Money Monday where we're talking about how to save homeowners from self-sabotaging and setting themselves up for
yes,
success.
Indeed.
I love that this conversation about a pre-sale inspection because you don't hear that they're getting ready for these things, and now when it comes to the sitting at the table and it's all coming out, it's like, oh man, you could have increased the value of your property had you done what you had to do so that they're not going to find certain things. Now you got to go to renegotiate and do things that just are going to add to the drama.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't sound so bad after the house has been set up properly.
Right.
So it's now more panic Monday. Now it's let's react to the little things, right?
But now it's not recommended to use that in pre-sale inspection. The buyer should still come and do their own home inspection as well.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, don't ever trust the inspection from the seller, right? You don't know what's going on. I love it when I go sometimes to inspections and they say, "Oh no, the seller has already done a septic inspection. Here's the paper." You sure? You want to trust that? Or, yeah, no worries. The seller said they just replaced the roof, and you look at the roof and go, that happened to me one time, by the way, with a solar panel. Solar panels are supposed to be set up in a one layer, not two layers, on the roof, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Would it be stacked? Okay. So when the first layer is wasted, you put a new layer on it. Sometimes it's allowed, but you definitely don't put any more weight on it because a panel will last you 30 years. Second set of roof will last you 20 or 30, depending. But this one had two layers, and the one above was only good for a 20-year period.
Okay.
But they claimed that the roof was in great shape. It was just replaced. So going in, I'm looking at this. I don't believe it. I look under the panels, and of course, the roof is not looking good to me. I think it was at the end of life. But as I moved to the back of the house, guess what? They have replaced all those shingles. So, yeah, the seller was saying it was a new roof, but he neglected to say only in the back, and not in the front with all the chaos
Wow,
was. So
that's
yeah,
hilarious.
that was the
So you got
situation
to
right there.
find that.
Yes,
So
that's why
we
you
want to
have to get.
maximize results here. Okay. And I think that, especially this conversation, more importantly, needs to be had because the public may not understand home inspection. They don't understand title. They don't understand certain things that come along with this process. And for me, as a finance coach, my goal is to partner up with these individuals like yourself, where I could, trust that if I send someone to you, the job is going to get done the right way. What would you say is the most important next step for individuals that are watching this, whether they're a homeowner or they're looking to buy? What's the most important next step?
I will say if you are looking to buy a house, understand the process, get as much knowledge as you can prior to your buying process, meaning look at our websites, going to the home inspector website. There's ton of information there. If you go to my website, it takes you to the steps on how to buy a house and what to look for, especially in the home inspection process. If you are a seller or if you're looking to put your house out for sale in a few years, you got to start understanding your home, walk around your house, see the condition on it. And if it's something there that you don't understand, call somebody. For instance, you call me and you ask me a question. Many times I won't charge you for it. You have to, you say, hey, George, I saw your program. I noticed you mentioned something about mall. This is what I have on my house. What do you think about this?
Exactly.
And we can have that conversation. It doesn't have to be money.
Yeah,
I'm not
people
always
over
looking
profit. I
for the
like that.
money. I'm
Mission
looking to
first.
educate people. That's
Yeah.
my whole purpose. So that will help. uh, what else can you do? Get a realtor that works with professionals. Get that group. And many times they say, no, I don't trust the home inspector that works with the realtor because they are in cahoots. They are working together. Yeah,
True.
but they're working together to get you through the process smooth. You And also, this is very important, very, very important. See, if you are in the process of buying a home, you're ready for the home inspection, please be there.
Oh,
Don't
be there. Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yes, take the day off and be there for the inspection. You wanna be there with the home inspector. If he allows you to, follow him around, ask the question, and make sure he understands the process from your first call. Hey, listen, this is the home I'm purchasing. This is the year of it. Make sure he's asking the questions. Where is the house located? That area is known for this. Test them a little bit. Hey, listen, what do you think about a home that was built at this age?
Right.
Just to pick their brain a little bit, just to get the idea and that you feel comfortable with the person you're working with. That's very important.
I really appreciate these points coming on, and I hope that those that are watching appreciate this lunch and learn. George, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. And towards the end of the show, we always do this thing called final thoughts. Final thoughts is where we kind of just share some things that you think are important that you want to, kind of get off your chest, right? In this conversation of benefits of a home inspection. So, what are some of your final thoughts?
Many homes were purchased during COVID, and a lot of home inspections were wait. We don't need to do a home inspection. I'm buying a brand new home. I don't need a home inspection. That's not the right thought. You want to walk into a home knowing the condition of your home, even if it is a brand new home, because builders do make mistakes. They take shortcuts. And if you don't do it properly, it's very hard to do it after the fact. Like in the case of COVID, many homeowners were sued because they didn't disclose all the information,
Wow.
but they claim they did. So now it's a he and she said, right? How
Right.
do you get your money back? Yeah. So make sure you understand your home before you buy it.
Oh, those are some great final thoughts. Again, thank you, George. Why don't you tell the viewers how they can reach out to you one more time?
George Moran, a home team inspection service in Monmouth County, 732-704-8918 is my direct links. This way you can actually text me or call me. Look at my reviews. You see that people are very happy to work with us. We got about 200 reviews, 5 stars.
Hey, there you
Um,
go. It's great.
yes, thank you. I work with a fantastic team. We all come in. We're there at the time of inspection. We walk you through the process. We make sure you understand the condition of your home. We show you things like where the main water shut off is. So in case you ever had an emergency with water dripping from somewhere, you know where to shut it off. We'll let you know the condition of your units, mechanicals, HVAC, and how to maintain them properly. So give us a call. And if you want to reach me through email, jmoran@hometeam.com.
And of course, we'll make sure we get those links and number and email in the comment section where you watch this below. Whether you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, please give us a like, comment, and a share. And of course, the closing quote brought to us by Alan Lakeland. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now.
Indeed.
Go in grace, go in peace. Thank you again for watching, everybody. Thanks, George, one more time for coming on. This is Anthony Rosa, the Community Finance Coach.
Thank
Bye.
you for having me on. See you on the 6th.
See you on the 6th.